Alright, in this video demonstration we're going to configure some WSUS options on server C. Remember, server C is our main autonomous server, and so we're not going to be doing anything on B for right now, so we're just going to go to our WSUS administration, open up the console, and we're going to do some configuration of the different options on server C. Make some changes, although we went through the initial configuration, chose things like what products we want to get updates for, classifications. We're going to do a little manipulation just to show you how you can go back in after the installation of WSUS, after you've completed the wizard, and make some modifications to what you want to do, what you want to get. Alright, so in the WSUS console we want to go to options, and we are going to add some different products. In fact, let's go into products and classifications. And let's go down and all the way down to the bottom for the Windows products, operating systems, and let's get some updates for 2008 R2 as well as Windows 7. So here's Windows Server 2008 R2. Do that and apply that. And we also want to go to classifications area and get the definition updates. So let's go make sure we have those, and we already do have those chosen, but if we didn't, there's the checkbox for that. Let's go ahead and say OK. We finish that up. Now let's go to our synchronization schedule, and we want to change this, not the time, but just the actual synchronizations per day to be 3. So we can go ahead and say OK to that. And then we want to create an automatic approval rule. So let's go here to automatic approvals for the definitions, or not definitions, but just the rules for automatic approval. And we want to do an auto defend that will automatically approve definition updates for Windows Defender. So what we'll do is select new rule, and we'll say classification, and for a specific product, and the classification, we're going to uncheck this box and just say definition updates. And then for any product, we're actually going to choose by deselecting all products and just go all the way down to the bottom to the Windows products and choose Defender and say OK. And we are going to say all computers at this point, and because I didn't make any specification for that, and we're going to actually call this Auto Defend and say OK. Notice how the box is checked automatically and say OK. Again, so what this means is that anytime that we get any updates from Microsoft for Windows Defender definitions, it's going to automatically approve those for all of our clients, so we don't have to go in there and manually approve those updates. And then we're going to make sure that we have our group policy or registry settings on the computers area for our options. We're going to click on computers. Remember, there's a key difference in these two. This is more for server-side client targeting, which means that I'm manually putting computers in the appropriate groups if I have computer groups. And this is where I'm actually going to use a GPO to configure client-side targeting to make sure my computers automatically get placed in the appropriate computer group on my WSUS server. So we're going to say OK. And then we're going to make sure that little Timmy at abc.corp.com gets notified when new updates are synchronized. So let's scroll down here and do email notifications. Again, this is just for understanding the configuration. It's not actually going to work for us, but let's do Timmy at ABC Corp or abcorp.com when updates are synchronized. And we're going to have to specify the appropriate email server, and because remember, SMTP server is for outgoing mail, so we're going to have to specify that. So we'll do mail.abccorp.com as our mail server, and the sender information is, we're going to say this is from Susie at ABC Corp. Again, it's not case sensitive, that's just me doing that as the sender. And say, see sender name. And let's do this. Let's make this the actual email address, and we'll just say Susie is the actual sender. So we're going to say OK. And the last thing that we want to do right here is configure our to-do list. So you remember when you first come into your server, you got this to-do list that tells you, hey, don't forget about this, don't forget about that. And we can go in here and specify what we want to see on that to-do list or not. So we're going to go to personalization and click on the to-do list tab, and we said that we did not want to see any notifications if SSL is not enabled or not. So we're going to deselect that and say OK. And we'll just close this out, and that's all we need to do for this portion of the lab.